What's good, everybody? NicMakesPlays here. Today, I'm going over my Sky Striker deck guide. This deck is so strong. It has tons of hand traps to beat all kinds of combos your opponents have when they go first. It has a plethora of link monsters to do crazy combos with. It generates a ton of card advantage. Kind of just like gets its engine going, and your opponent just can't keep up. You outgrind them very easily by generating tons of value with Kaguri, Shizuku, and then shutting down their game plan with the hand traps. Very, very resilient deck. Very fun deck. So let's get right into it. If you guys are big Sky Striker fans, make sure you like, subscribe to the video. If you guys like Sky Strikers, you like mechas, I'm going to be pumping out tons and tons of Master Duel deck guides this week. All kinds of high tier decks, all kinds of fun decks. So make sure you guys like, subscribe to the video, and let's get into that deck guide. So I blind choose to go second with this deck. I run a ton of hand traps in this deck to shut down your opponent's plays. So we go second, and we're able to just shut down everything the enemy does with our DD Crows, Failures, Imperms, Maxis, Ash Blossoms. I chose in this deck to not run cards like Lightning Storm. I'd rather stop their combos in its tracks. A lot of times, if you let your opponent combo off, they have tons of negates. They'll just negate your Lightning Storm, negate your Regeki, whatever. I want to use the hand traps instead because they're actually good when you already have a board, whereas like Lightning Storm, you have to have no cards to use. So I'd rather just have the hand traps, which are good stopping their combo in its tracks so they can't negate your board clears, and also are good when you have a field yourself. Alright, so this deck is chock full of hand traps because we choose to go second with this deck. First off is 2 DD Crow. This card is universally good against most of the meta. One of the rare hand traps is actually good versus the Golden Lord Eldritch deck. Most of these hand traps like Effect Failure, Max C, aren't the greatest versus that deck, but DD Crow can banish their Golden Lord as well, which is nice. I run 2 because this is the last card out of the deck, right? I had 2 extra slots and I just wanted 2 more hand traps, and DD Crow is the next best one. 3 Effect Failure, very important in this deck. It's a tuner, so you can use it with Celine to make Accesscode Talker and combo with Hulk. Negates effects, obviously. Generically good hand trap. Maxi, debatably the best card in the entire game in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, so no question here. It's 3 of. 3 Ash Blossom as well, very powerful hand trap. There's tons of hand traps. Again, we're going second with this deck. And I don't run Lightning Storms, or like Regeki and stuff like that, because instead of like letting my opponent combo off and then trying to break their board, I try and stop it in its tracks. A lot of times if you let your opponent combo off, then they have too many negates, and then your Lightning Storm is pretty much useless, they'll just negate it. So I run a ton of hand traps instead to stop their turn while they're doing it, and then do my thing. Alright, so 3 Sky Striker Ace Ray. This is from the main monster of the deck. You use this monster to link summon into any of the Sky Striker links, and then you can also tribute itself to special summon a Sky Striker link from your extra deck. That comes up. Sometimes you can like attack over a monster and then tribute it and then make Hayate and attack with that, so you get an extra attack that turn. Also, when a face-up Sky Striker link monster leaves the field, it reborns. So this is kind of like some of your defense. Some of your defense for the deck is that you're able to just have this reoccurring every time a link monster or your Sky Striker link monster dies. So I run 2 Rose. Rose is definitely a lot weaker than Sky Striker Ray. The reason I run 2 is to have higher odds of actually having a link monster. One way this deck can lose is if you just don't see a Sky Striker monster at all. You just can't even link, right? So with only 1 Rose, that was happening quite a bit. And I wanted to make sure I had a second copy of Rose to up my odds of having a monster to make Sky Striker links with. It also has an effect. It doesn't really come up that often. It's if an opponent's monster in the extra deck zone is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of your card effect, while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon it, and you can negate the effects of one face-up monster your opponent controls. This doesn't really come up that often. It's mostly to choose to link with, but it's a cool bonus effect. 3 Upstart Goblin. Very, very, very good in this deck. So this deck, all your Sky Striker spells get bonus effects if you have 3+ spells in grave. Easy way to load the grave. Add some consistency to the deck by, thinning it. It's basically 3 of those cards in your deck. They just draw 1 card. That's all they do. Your opponent gets 1,000. So, but it's mostly good to fuel up the grave and get those bonus effects. So very good. Definitely a great 3 of. Reinforced Army searches Ray. Also can search Rose, but usually getting Ray here because that one's better. Because when your units, your link monsters leave the field, you're able to reborn the Ray. So very good. Terraforming searches the field spell. Also fills your grave. 1 Pot of Avarice. So you can run Pot of Avarice or you can run Hercule's Base if you want. This lets you just refuel your extra deck with your link monsters that have died. Kind of allow you to grind longer because you're just refueling and like just stuffing all those link monsters you've been spamming back in your extra deck. You can grind your opponent for longer. It draws 2 cards. So the difference between this and Hercule's Base is Hercule's Base can be searchable. This one draws 2. So I'm just going Pot of Avarice, but either one's fine to be the refuel card in this deck. 2 Pot of Desires. Pretty straightforward. Another cool reason why I like running more of the Sky Striker units is like, let's say you don't open one, but you want to draw one. If you only run 4 and you banish a few, then the odds of you drawing the Sky Striker monster are a bit low. So yeah, just 2 Pot of Desires, Fuel's Grave, draws 2, very good. 2 Sky Striker Engage. This is the best Sky Striker, I mean, I guess debatably, but pretty much the best Sky Striker spell in the deck. So you search any Sky Striker card. You can even search Ray with this if you don't have a link, a Sky Striker monster to link with. And then if you have 3 or more spells in your grave, you can draw 1 card. So the reason this is so good is it's not once per turn. So you're able to reuse this multiple times. You can send it to the graveyard with Hayate and then put back your hand with Huguri, but we'll get back into that when we get over the extra deck. So next we have 2 Afterburner. I run 2 because, again, this deck is built to go second. You really want more ways to break boards, and this is like a searchable one that can kill a back row and kill a monster. Control a monster in your main monster zone, which you pretty much always don't have monster in your main monster zone. That goes for all these Sky Striker spells, because you use link monsters on the main monster zone. Target one face a monster in the field, destroy it, then you have 3 more spells in your graveyard, destroy one spell and trap. Very good if you have like the Upstart Goblins, the Engages, just kill a unit, kill a back row, and start getting your engine going. 1 jamming, what's called Jamming Winds, I believe. Sky Striker maneuver Jamming Winds. Jamming Waves. Target a spell and trap card, the field, destroy it, and then if you, it's like the opposite of Afterburner. And then if you have 3, you can destroy a monster, 3 engrave. So next is Sky Striker Airspace. This card is the field spell. There's a combo with this if you're new to Sky Strikers that I can definitely tell you. So you target one other card in the field, activate the top 3 cards of your deck. If you do, you can add 1 activated Sky Striker card to your hand, and then shuffle the rest of your deck. Then if you did activate a Sky Striker card and add to your hand, then you destroy the targeted card. So what you do is you play Ray, and then you target the Ray, and then you chain Ray's quick effect. You contribute it to get a Sky Striker Link monster from the extract to the field. So this way, when you get the activated Sky Striker spell, normally the card that you targeted would be destroyed. But since Ray's no longer in the field, and you tribute special summon the Link monster, you get a free Link monster, and you still get the Sky Striker spell you activated. I hope that makes sense. So basically, this will kill a card. You target a card, and if you get a Sky Striker spell, it'll kill it. But you chain Ray's effect, so you get both her effect to get the Sky Striker monster, and then you also get the activated card, and then there's nothing left to kill. You just get a free extra card, because you tribute this in response to get a Link monster instead of having it just die. Alright, next is multi-roll. This card's insanely strong. You always want to play this as your first action, when you're playing like the Sky Striker spells, like when you're popping off. So once per turn, you can target one other card you control, send a card to the graveyard. Also, your opponent can activate cards or effects in response to your spell activations for the rest of the turn. So you don't actually use this effect too often, the first part. It has the second effect's the more important one. But this is good to get rid of monsters in your main monster zone if you just have one there. So you can use all your Sky Striker spell and trap cards. It's just good if you have like dead cards to hit them, get rid of them, or fuel your grave with spells. Say you have like 2 spells in grave. You can like set a spell, like a second multi-roll, I guess, and then like pop it. So you have 3 in grave, getting the bonus effects for all your Sky Strikers. But the main effect you want to be using is once per turn during the end phase. This is yours and your opponent's. You can set Sky Striker spells with different names from your graveyard up to the number of Sky Striker spells you activated this turn while this card was face up. So you want to play this card immediately, use all your Sky Striker spells, and then at the end of the turn you'll set Engage, set Widow Anchor, like set this, set that. You can easily get like a +2, +3, just setting all your cards back, and it's a ton of card advantage when you get this going. Next is Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones. If you control a monster in your main monster zone, special one token. This is just used to link with. It's very nice because otherwise you have to normal summon the rows, but this lets you start linking without having a normal summon. Can also give you extra monsters to make combo plays with some of the higher level or the higher rating link monsters. And then if you have 3 or more spells engraved, it comes 1500. Doesn't come up too often, but this card lets you push through things, which is very nice. 2 Widow Anchor, also one of the best Sky Striker spells in the deck. You will be using this spell pretty much every single turn once you get going. This spell is extremely versatile. So if you control a monster in your main monster zone, target one face-up effect monster field to negate a monster's effects. So it's just negate your opponent's monster effects. But if you have 3 or more spells in your opponent's graveyard, you can take control of that monster. So it's very easy to just take your opponent's monsters, swing for game, take your opponent's monsters, link with them. There's combos you'll be doing with this to try and go for game with Accesscode Talker, which we'll be getting to later once we get the extra deck. But yeah, this is very versatile at stopping your opponent's plays / you going for game. Very good. Next is Shark Cannon, also a important combo card. So if you control a monster in your main monster and target monster opponent's graveyard, banish it. So it's like a DD Crow. Very good against just, Golden Lord, whatever, just other stuff. But if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can special that monster instead. Then regularly you'll be using that monster you took for a link, because you can't attack with the monster you steal, so you just link with it. Very good. And then 3 more infinite permanents, just more hand traps. Hand traps kind of name of the game. And going second deck. So what this deck does is it's very extra deck focused. So let's get to extra deck, because this is kind of like where it all comes together. So Kaguri. This card is special summon, target 1 Sky Striker spell in your graveyard, add to your hand, and also gains 100 attack for each spell in your graveyard. So what you want to do with this is you just add back Engage for the most part. You dump Engage with Hayate, and then you just add it back to your hand, and then Engage and search whatever you need. Of course, you can add back whatever you want, like Widow Anchor, or like Multi-Roll, or I don't know, whatever you want, but it's mostly used to reuse Engage, because Engage is not once per turn. Next we have Shizuki. This is the one you end your turn with. This is the very last one you'll make on generally your first turns. So monsters your opponents control lose 100 attack and defense for each spell in your graveyard. Once per turn during the end phase, this card is special from this turn. Add 1 Sky Striker spell from your deck to your hand with a name different from the cards in your graveyard. So basically you just search whatever you don't have, whatever you need. Yeah, you finish the turn with this one, because it's at the end phase. You get a free card from your deck to your hand. So Hayate. This is the one you're going to be making the most, or I guess you make them all a lot, but this is one of the main ones you'll be making. This is a very important one. Okay, so this card can attack directly. That's important. After damage calculation, if this card battled, you can send 1 Sky Striker card from your deck to the graveyard. So what you do is you play Rose, you attack over something with Rose. Okay? Use the quick effect to special summon Hayate. Hayate attacks directly, dealing 15 damage. This chip damage actually adds up. Make it easier to kill with Accesscode Talker later. So you deal 15 and you send Engage to the graveyard, and then main phase 2, you summon Kaguri, adding Engage from the graveyard to your hand. You Kaguri, use Engage, use whatever, and then you go Shizuku. So essentially, you dump a card, you add the card back to your hand. Usually it's Engage, and then you put Kaguri into the Shizuku and add another card to your hand. That's the main combo: is Rei into Hayate into Kaguri into Shizuku. That's like your basic play. It's very easy to outgrind people with this deck, because like you have a good board, right? You're getting card advantage. You shut down their players with their hand traps. Then you search like the Widow Anchors. They can't use their spells or whatever. You kill their monsters. If they try and kill your units, then you just reborn Rei and you just start linking again. And then while I try doing their plays, you just keep hand trapping them and Widow Anchoring them. It's very hard for them to keep up. You kind of just like get board control for like a turn, or shut down their play, and then you just kill them with the Accesscode Talker, which we're about to get into. Next is Kaina. This one's not something that often, but it's just like another name, and it's a nice interruption. Usually you just play this, gets effect, and link it off. This card's special summon. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It cannot attack at the end of your opponent's turn, so you just give your opponent, that monster can't attack, and then you just link it off. So it just makes it hard for them to push through things. Next is Halfafrax, Crystal Halfafrax. This card is the main, I guess, combo card of the deck. So what you do is you have like your link monsters, whatever. You have like whatever monsters, just like Rei or whatever, and then you summon a tuner. So you have Effect Veilers, Ash Blossom's a tuner. You can even use Shark Cannon to like reborn your opponent's hand traps, like their Ash. It's also a tuner. And then you link for this. This will summon a tuner from your deck, being like you summon like Veil or whatever, like Ash Blossom. Then you make Selene, Queen of the Master Magician. Selene, Queen of the Master Magician. So when this card's link summon, you place spell counters on this card equal to the number of spells in your grave. This deck obviously has like a billion spells. And then you can remove 3 spell counters from your field, especially when spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. So you use this and you summon an Effect Veiler again, and you use that just to link with this. And then you make Accesscode Talker. This card's insane. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to cards' effect activations. So it's link summon. You target link monster, use this material, and then you just, I think you banish it, or you just target it, and it gains 1,000 attack times its link rating. So it's Selene, so it gains 3,000 attack. So it comes on the field with 5,300 attack. Then you can banish one link monster from your graveyard or field, destroy one card your opponent controls. Also, the rest of the turn, you cannot banish monsters with the same attribute. It is effective Accesscode Talker. So basically what happens is it's 5,300 attack. You have tons of link monsters in your grave because you've been linking with different attributes the whole game. This one's fire, this one's water, this one's wind. You have this one's obviously water, and this one's light. And you just blow up the entire enemy field and attack 5,300. And they can't activate cards or effects in response to its card activations. I know I just went through these cards individually. This is the main combo you'll be using to go for game. is your opponent's ever at like around 5,300 life points, you just kill them with this combo. I'm going to break down this combo for you so it's very simple, very easy, you know how to do it. It seems, I guess, complicated, but it's actually a very straightforward combo. So here's how you do it. So all you need is like any monster plus a tuner. You can use like Shark Cannon, Reborn their Ash Blossom or whatever for a tuner. But pretty much any, or you can just like have your tuner plus Reborn their monster with Shark Cannon. Whatever, just a monster and a tuner, being your Ash Blossom or your Effect Veiler. You link both of those for Crystron Halqifibrax. Crystron Halqifibrax will summon an Effect Veiler from your deck, okay? So Effect Veiler is a spellcaster. You can link the Halqifibrax and the Effect Veiler for Selene, Queen of Master Magician. Next, you summon Selene, Queen of the Master Magicians. So Selene allows you to summon a spellcaster from your graveyard. You just summon the Effect Veiler that you already used, and then you link the Effect Veiler in Selene for Accesscode Talker. Then you just blow up the entire field, attack 50-100, attack per game. So it goes a unit plus any tuner into Halqifibrax. Halqifibrax summons Effect Veiler. Link Effect Veiler and Halqifibrax for Selene. Reborn the Effect Veiler. Link the Effect Veiler in Selene for Accesscode Talker, and then attack per game. So pretty straightforward. But we do have a few more extra cards, and then let's get some games. Nightmare Phoenix just kills a back row. Discard card, kill a back row, just generic. Zeke's really good, actually. So Zeke is an interesting one. This card's link summon. You can target a face-up monster on the field, banish it until your opponent's next end phase. This is just like annoying for them. It makes it hard for them to kill you because you get one of their units for the turn. You can kill them by removing their blockers. It's just a pretty versatile card. Also, its effect, once per turn, you can target one of their card you control. This card gains 1,000 attack, then send the target card to the graveyard. Not use that often, but you can like, I don't know, you can do some cool stuff with it. I don't know. It's a versatile effect. You can use your imagination, but yeah, mostly you're just like banishing their card for the turn, making it easier to kill them and do all kinds of cool stuff. Ningirsu. So once per turn, you can send one card from each player's field to the graveyards. This doesn't target, so this is basically non-targeting removal. If your opponent has a card that says like, oh, this card can't be targeted, and you need an out to that card because most other cards target, you just use this guy. And then you have the combo cards. So that's the deck. Pretty straightforward stuff here. Let me show you how it's done in action. Let's get into some games. So currently we're in the highest rank in the game. Platinum is the highest rank. This season, this is a brand new season, so it just started, right? I'm still getting up to Plat 1. It could be fun to show you guys games on my climb upwards. So I'll be using Sky Strikers here. We're currently Plat 4 on the way to Plat 3. So this would be a pretty, high-ranked match. And it can show you what we're getting to the highest rank in the game with. Let's use some Sky Strikers and make it happen. All right, coin flip. So I actually prefer if they win, as weird as that sounds. I choose to go second. But I don't want them to know that, I want to go second. Because they kind of a read on my deck. Maybe they think I'm playing New Bronze. Some Sky Strikers choose to go second like I do. But yeah, we run a lot of hand traps, so we should have no problem stopping their combo. You see here, we have Veiler and Ash Blossom. Sometimes they can push through, Veiler and Ash Blossom. But it's still, it mitigates their combo so much that we're able to just, break their board afterwards. So he's going first. Drink some water, make sure we're all focused. Oh god, this is an extremely combo-heavy deck. I'm assuming it's Emancipators by them playing Doki Doki. Discards are rocks, best one's a rock from his deck. Easy Effect Veiler. Easiest Effect Veiler in my life. So he discards a card, which is already amazing for us. And one cool thing here is, so if your opponent controls a monster, you get special summons from his hand, but we made him go first. So he didn't get to special summon that. So we're going to Effect Veiler that, shut down that. Now he's down to 4 cards. Turn 1. Let's see what more it can do. Not being able to special these Emancipators. Oh, see, this is the beauty of going second. Just shutting people down with the hand traps, and then it can pop off. Wow, that's really good. So we're going to play Rhoda. Or, sorry, Reinforced Army. It's abbreviated at Rhoda. We're going to get Sky Striker Ray. Pretty straightforward. So we have the combo here, but I'm going to play Upstart Goblin first. We're not killing this turn. This deck can't really, kill the first turn. It kind of needs a bit more, more than one turn. It doesn't like OTK. So we use the field spell. This is the combo you really know with this deck. So we use this, targeting Sky Striker Ray. And normally it would kill the card that it destroys. But we're going to chain the Sky Striker Ray. Special summon Hayate. And then now this will excavate. If we hit a Sky Striker card, it will then go to our hand and we'll kill the card we targeted, but we got rid of it, so we just got a free card. So we'll get engage. We already have a good amount of spells in grave. So what we can... Oh, this is actually so good. So what we can do here... I'm gonna play it simple and just attack and dump a card. Maybe a more advanced Sky Striker player would like have some crazy combo here, but I don't think we can kill him, especially upstart. So I want to kill this so he doesn't have like monsters to link with. We'll just send a spell to our grave. I think multi-roll could be good. Widow Anchor could be good. We're gonna add back whatever we do. I'm probably just gonna engage twice. So we'll just loop engages, I guess. It's not once per turn. Alright, so next, we have 3 spells in grave. We can play the engage, search a Sky Striker spell, and then draw 1. I do like setting up multi-roll for later. I also feel good getting both my Widow Anchors, though. I guess we'll just get a second Widow Anchor. Keep it simple. Draw a card from our deck. Afterburner. Okay. So then here, we'll play Kagiri. Kagiri will add back our engage. And then we also, of course, have 2 hand traps, Maxi and Ash, which Maxi is really good against this advanced player deck. They special summon a lot. And we have Ray Engrave. So when they try and kill our unit, it'll just reborn. So we have tons of defense. So we do engage. Not once per turn, by the way. Kind of insane. We'll get multi-roll. Multi-roll let us pop off next turn. This is the reason I was like, well, I don't know what to get. It's like, you can kind of just pick and choose what you need at the time. We also could get... Oh, I guess what I should have done actually is get Shark Cannon. So we can set it like a DD Crow type thing. And then search multi-roll next at the end phase with Shizuku. Because we're not setting multi-roll. So I actually should have got Shark Cannon here. But as you can see, we have tons of cards. I'm still learning this deck, so bear with me. I've done some decent learning with the deck though. So yeah, we could also have a Shark Cannon set, which is good to stop his reborn his banish his graveyard cards. We'll still get Shark Cannon here, I think. But I should also have it set. Is the thing. Alright. End our turn with, he has 3 cards, and we have a lot of cards, plus hand traps, plus these can steal monsters, so we can't, synchro with them. This deck synchros a lot, and against their effects. Ash Blossom's good to stop him. Maxi, we should just win from here. And we could also potentially have another, Shark Cannon would be set if we searched in the proper order. So very good. I don't see us losing this game. And when this dies, we get Ray. And then the cool thing about Ray, right, is if we kill this, we get Ray. I should explain this combo. They kill this, we get Ray. Then we can use Ray's quick effect to link and make Shizuku again. So we make Shizuku and we search on his end phase. So we get even more cards on his turn. So very good. Alright, so we're in the coin flip here. The big perk of this deck is that whether we win or lose the coin flip, we'll go second. It's usually an advantage to go first. Not for our deck, we choose second. So if they win the coin flip, they can go first. Either way, we get to stop the combo with hand traps, and it's good for us whether they win or we win the coin flip. Sometimes like the Golden Lord Eldritch deck really want to go first. They feel like they're farther behind, and we don't have that problem. We have tons of hand traps to stop their plays. So very, very big perk of this deck is you usually always get to go second, and that puts you in a good spot. So I expect to go second. Alright, so you get to go first here. We have Ash, Maxi. Already feeling pretty confident that we can shut down his plays, or at least make him want to stop at a certain point, and then just get field control, start getting our engine going, and then kill him with Accesscode Talker the next few turns. Oh, wow. Spellbooks. Okay, I haven't played versus that in a while. We're just going to Ash that one before this deck gets going. Focus Secrets. I haven't played this versus in a while, but I believe they search a monster who searches another spell, so we'll just stop it in its tracks. Hopefully it doesn't have the normal summon monster. Endamins. Okay, so he gets spell counters every single time he's a spell. I'm surprised he didn't play that before he played the first spell. That's interesting. Alright. Upstart Goblin, that's fine. Gets a spell counter. So remove 3 spellcasters, special in both this card from your pendulum zone and 1 monster from your hand that you can place a spell counter on. If you do, place a spell counter on each. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. We'll read the other effect, I guess, when we get there. So he puts scales in each zone, 2 and 8. I guess we just maxi here in case he tries to pendulum summon immediately. And that also counts as spell. It's pretty good. All right. So he does the pendulum summon. We'll draw 1 off maxi. So now this is the same unit, right? Okay. So what does this do once on the field? This card is special summon. You can target 1 card your opponent controls and 1 card you control the spell counter. Turn the opponent's card to your hand, then place the same number of spell counters on this card that your return card had. When this card with the spell counter is destroy battle, at end for your hand. Okay, so we don't really care about most of that. We're gonna start with upstart goblins here. Just try and like get things in our graveyard to fuel our engage. We also have multi-roll, which we want to make sure we use before we use the Sky Striker engage. So here we'll play the multi-roll. Now every time we use a Sky Striker spell, it will get... So basically the end phase, for every single Sky Striker spell we use, that turn we can set one from our graveyard. So all the ones we use we can just reset. So what we're going to do here is we want to get a 3rd spell engraved before we play engage so we can draw the extra card. So we'll set this because we can't use it. We'll kill it. Now he can't respond to our spell activations. But now, most importantly, we will draw a card off the engage. So there's no tuners anywhere. This can destroy what? A spell trap in the field. I can kill one of these scales. That seems pretty good. If we had Ray, then we could get airspace and do the combo. Hornet seems kind of good for some combos. 2700 defense. I guess we'll just get the Afterburner. Yeah, I guess we'll just get the Afterburner and we'll draw a card. Alright. So we're able to... I guess we'll just do this now. We'll just Afterburner here. What does this card do in the pendulum? You can remove 6 spell counters anywhere in the field, special on this card. So we'll just kill this, and then kill this one because it has the spell counters on it. So that's already 2 Sky Striker spells we're gonna be setting. We'll play our Rose. Do we need to dump a spell with Hayate? I guess not really. This pushes more damage, or it's the same damage as Hayate. So yeah, we'll just special summon now for the Hayate. And the great thing about these hand traps is, like, after we have a board, we still have, you know, impermanence and ash and stuff like that. So we're pretty much good to go here. So attack here. You healed a lot from the Upstart Goblin, but we already are in so much control of this game, we should be good to go. We can dump Ray here, which is really good. So when our Sky Striker monsters die, we get the Raider Reborn. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, now we can link into Kaguri. Kaguri out engage back. Search another card, probably search Widow Anchor for some defense. And we'll also draw another card, and that's also another card that will be set at the end because of multi-roll. Is this different names? Okay, you can set with different names. That's fine. So we still get engage here. Activate engage. And then we'll get the Widow Anchor for some defense. We'll draw a card here. And so we have DD Crow, Ash Blossom, Infinite Impermanence, Widow Anchor. We're not even done yet. We get Shizuku here. So we search at the end phase. We can just search like whatever to push through his cards. Maybe Shark Cannon to reborn with monsters to link with it. Try and go for game. But so we're reborning what? A total of, I believe, 3. We get engaged twice and Afterburner. So we have 3 cards coming back with different names. 1, 2. I kind of want impermanence here. I guess I could have kept this in my hand because we already have so many like negations. Yeah, I guess we're reborn 2. So what I should have done here is not set Widow Anchor. Because then we could set 3. But this is still fine. Because we already have effect negation. We don't need the extra negation. We can keep Widow Anchor in hand. But yeah, we'll set this. Set this. You can like swap their orders, whatever. And then we'll search for Shizuki. Has to be different from the cards we have in grave. Since we put the engage back from our grave, we can just put another one to our hand now. Yeah, just stack engage kind of broken because you can search whatever. And keep in mind this is both players' end phases, so if we use like the Widow Anchor, then we can just set it. Right? We can just set it. Different names to the ones in your graveyard. Okay, so good to know. So we'll just ash this. He's pretty much shut out here. Next turn, we can definitely find a way to kill him. We're going to be drawing like 4 cards, searching like 4 cards. We already have Shizuko in the field. So it should be pretty easy to set up an Accesscode Talker and just win the game. Allure with no cards in hand. That's funny. Okay. So let's see if he draws the dark. He didn't. Is he going to surrender or he wants us to combo off? Okay. GG. GG. All right, that's the Sky Striker deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you like Sky Strikers and enjoyed the deck guide, make sure you like and subscribe. Tons and tons of more deck guides coming out this week. A bunch of decks ranging from fun to high tier. So, yeah, I also stream on Twitch. So feel free to follow me. I stream Master Duel live every day. And I'll catch you guys there. Peace.